Welcome to the Generational Wealth Podcast. Guys, today I'm going to show you the best way to use your tax refund. I'm going to show you how to make the most of your money. I'm excited, but all I need you to do is smash that like button. This will help us spread this message around the world. Guys, tax season is already here. It's came and went, and a lot of people are starting to get their refunds. In tonight's broadcast, I'm going to show you the best way that you can use your refund to set yourself up for long-term success. So shout out to everybody that's on. Make sure to leave me a comment below with your name and the city that you're from, and I'll be sure to shout you out and show you some love. Now, I already got some early comments before the show even started. This is from DSG. DSG says, love what you all are doing on this channel. Thank you so much for the support. I'd like to thank the Most High for leading me out of consumerism come tax return season into discovering the stock market and purchasing options. Hey, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you should use your tax refund because a lot of people are out there blowing their money, buying brand new phones, new cars, new clothes when they need to make different moves. Today is about how to level up. So let's go ahead and begin, y'all. Thank you for all of you who have checked out my free webinar on the 3 keys to financial freedom. Guys, this is the best free gift that I have to offer you. Every show is about creating generational wealth, but I've dedicated an exclusive masterclass to show you how to replace your 9-to-5 income. I show you guys in this free webinar how I was able to transition out of corporate America into starting my own business. And guys, you need to check this out. There's so many people that are only living off of a fixed salary, but the average millionaire has over 7 different streams of income. So if you really want to get in this game so you can build wealth, you need to know how wealthy people do it. So make sure that you check out that masterclass. I'm going to put a link in the comments below. Listen, y'all, I'm not going to spend a lot of time even talking about this thing. All I'm going to tell you guys is that there's a specific strategy that you need to follow to stop trading time for money. All rich people are not getting paid based on their time. They're getting paid based on the value that they deliver to the marketplace, and they're getting paid if they're working or not. If you don't always want to have to work yourself into the ground just to afford your bills, you need to check out this webinar. That's why I put the link in the comments below. Just go ahead and click that, sign up. It's all for free, guys. It doesn't cost any money, but it will go a very long way towards your wealth journey. Now, to show you guys how serious I am about investing in your success, I'm giving you an opportunity to promote your business on my channel for free. That's right. This is the Generational Wealth Podcast. So if you want to take one step closer towards creating generational wealth by starting your own business, I'm going to give you an opportunity to promote your business on my channel for free. You could end up with new customers. You could have new guys coming to your business, helping to promote your content. Guys, I want to set you up for success. So if you're interested, all you got to do is leave me a comment below. Tell me who you are, what your business is about, and I will personally promote and market your services on this platform. Okay? I just want to know what it is. I want to know that it's a good fit. I want to know that it's something positive for the community, and I can't wait to get behind it. So without further ado, guys, let's talk about this topic. What are the best ways to use your tax refund? And I got to give a shout out to those who keep the channel going. Y'all know before I get into the nitty gritty, because that's what I'm about to do, I got to give a big shout out to the show's sponsors. I want to give a shout out to yesterday's official sponsor, Brother Yasha Allah. I want to give a shout out to the official sponsor of the show on Monday, my brother Ak Aman. A lot of you guys are wondering what it means to be a sponsor. These are the people who donate to help keep this show on air. Guys, if it were not for your support, there's no way that I could do this. I have to take so much time and energy to put these shows together, and I cannot do it without your support. So if you want to become a sponsor, so that way you could see more content, all you got to do is tap the dollar icon directly below. Any donation goes a long way, and I definitely appreciate your labor of love. Even if you're watching this after the live stream is over, you can feel free to donate. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. We got a $30 Cash App yesterday. Shout out to P Money. Thank you for everybody that is supporting this movement. If y'all want to see this show continue to grow and you love where it's going, then make sure that you do all you can to show support. Now, I got to say this. Y'all know what time it is. Whoever makes the biggest donation during this broadcast will be the official sponsor of tonight's event. If you want your name on telling people to use their tax money wisely, then make sure that you donate. But now let's get into it, y'all. We done enough talking. We done enough chit-chatting, enough beating around the bush. How do you use your tax refund? Well, the first thing I got to tell you is do not spend your money on BS. Do not blow your refund down the toilet. Guys, you already know how things go within our community. You already know we're known for getting money and blowing it through the roof. Instant gratification. But now is our time. Now is a time for us to level up, and we've got to stop thinking instant gratification. We got to realize that generational wealth is a long game. See, when we talk about generational wealth on this channel, we're not just talking about a fast money. We're talking about money that you can pass down from generation to generation. This is all about building your legacy. Now, see, for most of us, when we've had family members that have passed away, there wasn't much that they left behind. But what if you could change your family forever? What if you could start your own little empire where every time you have family members and friends who live on after you, they can reap the benefits of your success. They can benefit off of everything that you've done to help put them in a good position. I don't know who your loved ones are, but I know this. If you love somebody, you're going to want to leave a legacy for them to continue on. So, guys, one of the best ways to do that is through your taxes, through your tax refunds. That can help you get started in the right direction. Now, think about this. We talked about how generational wealth is a long game. It's a marathon. That's what Nipsey told y'all, RIP. But the people who create generational wealth are the ones who sacrifice for the longest in order to get the last laugh. The people who are willing to sacrifice today end up with a better tomorrow. And every year from the time that I've received my taxes, I've put it towards paying off my student loans, paying off credit card debt, building up my emergency savings, investing in real estate, and investing in other business ventures. There hasn't been 1 year where I have squandered all of my tax money. Now, to keep it a buck with you guys, I haven't received money back every year because the more money that you make, the harder it becomes to get a refund. A lot of times you will end up having to owe. But if you guys saw my broadcast that I did yesterday, I showed you ways that you could lower your tax burden so that way you wouldn't have to worry about paying the IRS a lot of money. I showed you how you could legally write off things through your business so that you would not end up owing a lot of money by the end of the year. If you haven't seen that already, check that out. Okay. Shout out to everybody that's on. I see you. Avia, happy to have you in the building. Y'all leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think is the best way to use your tax refund. That's the first question that I have for you guys. What do you think is the wisest way for you to spend your tax refund this year? Do you think it's to buy a new car? Do you think it's to buy a new house? What is going to be the game changer for you? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, when we talked about not spending your money on BS, you got to know, well, what should you put your money towards? And the first thing that you should think about when it comes to the subject of your tax refund before even getting to the money is why you got that refund in the first place. I'm about to show you guys an article. There's a lot of people who get thousands of dollars in tax refunds every year. But one of the things that I went over in yesterday's broadcast is how the whole theme around getting a big tax refund for a lot of people is a myth, because it's not free money that you're getting in return. This is money that you are paying to the IRS throughout the year, and you were giving them too much money. You worked hard. You put in the time, and Uncle Sam was pocketing your money in excess. That's the reason why he's refunding a portion of it back to you. So when you look at your tax refund for this year, before you think about going on a big vacation and buying new rims, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, why is Uncle Sam giving me all of this money? What does this refund tell me about how I'm managing my money? Does it mean that I'm overpaying? Does it mean that I'm not taking the right deductions on my W-9? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself, because you can't afford to let the government borrow your money. You might feel like you got a big paycheck coming when the refund happens, but this is money that you need to be getting installed throughout the year. You should be getting more money on your paycheck on the 1st and 15th than you are. You should be getting more money every month than what you're making. So you need to figure out, well, why am I getting so much back? Am I overpaying? What is it that I am doing? Because when you start thinking like that, that's when you will change the game for your financial future. Instead of you getting more money just in one check throughout the year, now you're going to get more money every check all year round. But now let me show you guys this article. Let me show you guys the reason why it's so important to use your tax refund wisely. Okay, we're going to look at this. We are going to look at this. Okay, I'm putting it on the screen. Hopefully y'all can see it. They got this ad running. We're not even going to look at the video. How to decide whether to spend or save your tax refund. For most Americans, a tax refund is a rare opportunity to improve a safety net. Now, let's keep it a buck, y'all. Most Americans don't even have a safety net. Most of us are busy living paycheck to paycheck, and the tax refund is one opportunity that you have to start saving. This is the reason why we got to make an important decision. It says if your savings is on track, experts say it's perfectly okay to put a portion of the money towards something that makes you happy. Now, notice what it says in this video. Americans are addicted to tax refunds. We are programmed into thinking that the bigger refund that we get, the more that we work the system. But instead of us being addicted to the refunds, we need to be addicted to progress all year round. If you're getting too much money back, that's actually a problem. It is a sign that you are not managing your personal finances the right way throughout the year. Okay, now notice this. You'll see how it says on the screen right here, You only have 37% of Americans walking away with a higher paycheck, but you'll have 63% of Americans walking away with a tax refund. So that means the more expensive that life gets, the more people are desperate to get that check from Uncle Sam. But you cannot rely on the government to bail you out. Guys, here's one thing that you need to know about wealthy people. When wealthy people got the stimulus, that was not a game-changing event. It was just an added bonus. When wealthy people don't owe on their taxes, they're not looking at it as, oh man, this is the make or break of my entire life. Yes, it's nice to not owe the IRS. And yes, it's nice to have a refund. But when you get a refund, you really need to ask yourself, how do you process it? Do you process it as free money? Do you process it as a shopping spree opportunity? Do you process it as the one thing that you've been waiting for all year? You need to process this as something that is insignificant to your real success. The reason why I say that it's insignificant is because tax refunds are not supposed to be where your income really resides. That's supposed to come from your business and your 7 different streams of income long term. This is just a cherry on top. Taxes are extremely important for you building long-term wealth, and that's why you have to lower your tax burden. But if you are so obsessed with your taxes every single year, hoping and praying that you get a refund to bail you out of your problems, you don't realize it's not the tax refund you need to be worrying about. It's why you get yourself into so many problems that you need a tax refund in the first place. Do you think that Elon Musk needs a tax refund to bail himself out of financial problems? You think Donald Trump needs a tax refund? See, when you study the habits of wealthy people, they focus on different things. But notice who gets the most geeked up about tax refunds every year: the middle class. There's a reason why the system is designed that way. It's to keep us constantly dependent on the government to hand out these little crumbs, because it stops us from wanting to get the money on our own, doing this thing independently in the spirit of ownership. So it shows ahead of tax day, the IRS has issued more than 70 million refunds at an average of $3,175 so far. Now, guys, that's a lot of money. It's enough money for you to make a difference in your personal finances. No, maybe it may not get rid of all of your problems, but it can definitely help. The question is, with this $3,000, what are you going to do with it? That's $360 more than in 2021, when the average refund was $2,815. For many Americans, a lump sum payment of this size is rare, and it's tempting to squander it. Now, here's something that I want you all to think about. The reason why it's tempting to squander is because, one, we already are designed to spend everything that we make. It's tempting to squander because we're already programmed to spend all of the money in our account. This is the reason why there's so many people. They'll get paid on Friday and all the money is already gone by Monday. There is a psychology that we have that tells us to constantly consume. So the first thing that we need to do when we talk about having a wealthy mindset is to stop spending everything that we get. We have to live below our means. And guys, this is the thing. Some of y'all think, well, you know what? The reason why I spend all of what I make is because I only make $50,000 a year. There's a lot of people that make $100,000 a year that spend all of that money and beyond. But here's the thing that I want you to realize. If you make $100,000 a year as a W-2 employee, chances are your take-home pay will only total up to the 70,000s. There's $30,000 unaccounted for. Where's that money going? Towards your taxes. Now, some of you guys may have money in HSA. Some of you guys might be paying child support. I don't know what your situation is. But the point that I'm trying to make very clear to you is that this tax refund is not free money. If you're working at a job bragging that you're making 100,000, but you're only pocketing 75 to 80 at best, well, you should be wanting to recoup that other 20,000. So if you're only getting 3,000 from the refund, that is not money to go and run amok. That's money that you were owed in the first place. For many Americans, however, a lump sum payment of this size is rare, and it's tempting to squander it. Still, a growing number of tax filers, now 46%, plan to save their refunds. Y'all know the reason why everybody's trying to save their refund? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think is the reason why more people are now saving than ever. The reason why you have a growing number of people saving their tax refunds is because life is getting expensive as hell. We've got an 8% increase in inflation. And you got a lot of people saying, man, you know what? All of the things that I buy is getting more expensive, but I'm not getting paid at a wage that matches my expenses. So expenses might have gone up by 8% over the year, but maybe you didn't get a raise at all. So a lot of people are taking their tax refunds and saying, let me set some of this money aside. I know right now it's easier for me to go broke. Everything is getting that much more expensive, and you just don't know what could happen from day to day. So there's a lot more people that are saving their refunds now. According to a Lending Tree survey, up from 41% last year and 40% in 2020. Roughly 16% said they plan to book a trip or splurge. Now, I want you to think about this. 16% of Americans said that they plan on taking that money to book a trip or splurge. But guys, whenever we think about people with real money, we only talk about the 1%. So you got a certain portion of people who are still struggling financially, but they're going to take this money, and instead of making the most of the opportunity to build generational wealth, they're going to use it all on entertainment, recreation, having a good time. But the secret is, when you figure out how to truly build wealth and create automated streams of income, you can have a lot more fun than the average person. You can have a lot more fun down the line. You know, some of the trips that I've been on, guys, over the past decades are places that I thought that I would never be. I've gone on multiple 10-day cruises, touring the Caribbean Channel. I've been to so many places internationally. And the reason why I was able to go on these types of 10-day cruises is because I sacrificed in the short term. When I was paying off those $95,000, ain't no 10-day cruise. Wasn't no 10-day cruise, wasn't no 7-day cruise, wasn't no 5-day cruise, wasn't no 3-day cruise. It was about doing what you needed to do. You got to do what you need to do so that way you can do what you want to do. But I'm going to break down, according to these statistics, how Americans plan to use their tax refunds this year. So the majority of Americans this year plan on saving their money. The next largest group of people plan on using it towards getting out of debt. Most Americans are up to their neck in debt. So I can see why this would be the second option. Third thing, pay for necessary housing expenses. Fourth, investing in the stock market. Fifth, splurging on something I've been wanting. Sixth, book a vacation. Seventh, I don't expect to get a refund. 8, donate to charity. And 9, other. Okay. And then it says respondents could select multiple answers. So this shows us that even with the $3,000+ that people are getting, maybe they're putting it in different places. And that's what I want to show you guys in today's podcast. I want to show you what would be some of the best places for you to put your money. Now, we're not going to go through the entire article. I just want to go through a couple key points. It's tempting to go on a spending spree after the tax season, but do not think of a refund automatically as free money that you can use for mindless purchases, said Simon Zinn, chief research analyst for My Bank Tracker. Hey, I be trying to tell you all on the Generational Wealth podcast, it ain't free money. You're giving it to Uncle Sam every month, but then they fool you into thinking that they're doing you a favor. Using a tax refund towards improving your financial situation is a good decision that can ultimately save money later. All right, y'all. So let's talk about it. What should we do with our tax refunds? Why is this important? Avia says it's getting expensive to leave the house, but people still want to shop instead of grow their income. And you know, one of the reasons why that is because people will use money to try to balance themselves emotionally. What I mean is sometimes people will get depressed and then they'll want to use retail therapy. They want to shop until they drop. But then they end up buying all of these things, going right back into debt, and then get even more depressed than they were before. It is a vicious cycle. We got to understand, guys, we have to know how to effectively use our money. If we're going to create generational wealth, we got to understand that this money cannot come and go for a season. So let's talk about this. If we want to use our tax refunds in the very best way, we must understand that there is no one size fits all approach. It has to be based upon your situation. Now, I know a lot of y'all were tuning in and expecting me to say, you know what everybody should do with their money? Everybody should buy Bitcoin. Everybody should buy gold. Everybody should buy real estate. No, that's not the case. When it comes to building your financial house, you have to see exactly where you're at and take the very next step. See, this is where people go wrong when it comes to creating generational wealth. What most people want to do is go from 0 to 100. They want to already live like they're rich, even though they've spent most of their life being broke. If you've never done the things that wealthy people did, you need to start building yourself up step by step. Do not skip the steps in building your financial house, because nobody builds a real house by putting on the roof first. What do I mean? Before you take this tax money, you need to first ask yourself, are you in debt? Do you have any money in savings? Are you in a good position to invest? See, a lot of us want to do a lot of different things, but if you're not in the right position to make certain moves, taking your tax money and putting it in the wrong place could do more harm than good. So let's talk about this. The first place that you should consider putting your tax money is towards your emergency savings. That's right. The same thing that most Americans are saying they're going to do. That's where I recommend you get started. Now, here's the thing. Don't put all of your tax refund there. If you're getting a $3,000 tax refund, which is the average refund that most Americans are getting, you only need $1,000 in your emergency savings account unless you've built up your financial house. If you're loaded in debt, you have no savings, what you need to do is just put a basic amount of money into a savings account so that if you fall on hard times, you can get yourself covered. See, one thing that I always stress, when you don't have any emergency savings at all, what you end up doing is going into debt, because then you have to borrow money from other people just to afford life in the day to day. Everybody finds themselves on hard times. There's going to be times where you're going to need more money than what you're getting from your job. So when that happens, you're already going to want the money in your emergency savings account. So that's the reason why when you get this tax refund, before it goes anywhere else, put it towards your savings fund. $1,000 only, $1,000 total. What I'm saying is, say you already had $500 in savings before your tax refund came. I'm telling you, you only need $500 more. Now, let me also say, you guys can do what you want to do with your money. I'm just giving you my perspective as somebody who paid off over $100,000 in student loans, retired from corporate America at age 26, and owns over $1 million worth of real estate in my 30s. I'm not telling you this as a certified financial planner. I'm just kicking game to y'all on this show. What you do with it is up to you. I'm telling you the exact same thing that I did when I was starting at ground zero, when I had no money and I started getting my first refunds. I started putting it towards basic emergency savings. And then once I got past the basic emergency savings, the next thing that I did was pay off my student loans. This is about where you are on your financial journey. Some of you guys may not have student loans. Some of you guys may have credit cards. Some of you guys may have a car note. Wherever you are, that's where you have to make your decisions. You can only take the next step up from where you're already standing. So let's think about your debt. If you have student loans, credit cards, car notes, payday loans, take the rest of your tax refund and put it towards that completely. Now, let me tell you the reason why a lot of people cut it off right when I say this. Because they say, damn, Uzziah, I want to have fun. Damn, Uzziah, I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Paris. I want to see the world. I deserve this. You don't deserve a damn thing. Everybody out here is working hard just like you. Everybody got dreams. Everybody trying to get it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people make the sacrifices that unsuccessful people are not willing to make. I always tell you guys this. When I was paying off my $95,000 in student loans after graduating from college, you know what I ate for lunch every day? Peanut butter sandwiches, no jelly. I walked to work every single day, all because I was trying to sacrifice in the short term so I could win later. And guys, 2 years of sacrifice for me, that was a drop in the bucket. So I could then go on the vacations that I wanted to go on and not put myself in a bigger hole. I could travel and see things without feeling guilty. If you are really trying to create generational wealth, you must get rid of your debt, because your debt is your biggest barrier to creating wealth. If you want to create wealth that you can pass on to future generations, It's easiest when you don't owe anybody anything. Does that make sense? If you don't owe anybody anything, you get to pocket the money. You get to decide where you want that money to go. But when you owe other people money, it's already out of your hands. Whatever debts that you're in, take your tax refund, throw it there completely. Some of you guys got $50,000 in debt. You say, Uzziah, I already got $1,000 in savings. I have $50,000 in student loans. You mean to tell me I got to put this entire tax refund towards my $50,000 master's degree? Absolutely. Do it year after year until you are out of debt. Or you can be average. You could be just like everybody else that's going to a job for a boss that they can't stand. I'm not telling you guys that there's a problem with a job. I actually think that there are a lot of upsides to having a job because entrepreneurship is stressful. What I'm saying in this example is there's a lot of you out there that don't like what you do. If you're living a life that you don't like, you have to be responsible for getting yourself out of that situation. You're just going to use the money as a tool to get you out of the hole. So don't worry. Don't look at it as, oh man, this is so horrible. I'm telling you, this is where people get slipped up. A lot of people get slipped up every single year because they know that they owe a lot of money. But then once they get that refund from Uncle Sam, they're like, nah, I'm not putting it all towards this debt. I'm going to use this to party. I'm going to use this to enjoy life. YOLO. I'm going to do things my way. Okay. And then for the rest of the year, you're stressed out. What I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that real wealth is when you're able to live life on your own terms. I would rather make $30,000 a year living the life I want than make $100,000 living in hell. I would rather be making a minimal amount of money, but my health is good. I'm eating the right food. I'm putting myself in an environment where everything is covered and I'm just getting residual income. I've paid off all of my debts. I would rather make less money and live a more peaceful life than you're making 100,000, 200,000. You never see your kids. Your marriage is on the brink of divorce. You're constantly on the verge of a heart attack because you can never take a day off. This is what can happen. And you can stop it from happening if when you get this money that doesn't come all the time, you put it in the right place. Put it towards a debt. Get yourself out of debt as quickly as you can. And I got to give a big shout out to TK Kitchen for the $50 sponsorship. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, TK. You know, I really want to take a moment to celebrate you because I know that you worked hard for the money that you make, and you making that type of sponsorship on this channel isn't something that I take for granted. I really appreciate and admire how much you're investing back into the culture, and I thank you so much for helping this channel. TK Kitchen says, good evening on such a great and informative topic. I'm utilizing my taxes for investing purposes like stock and real estate only. Hey, good for you. Way to go. Congrats on the new addition to your family. Thank you so much. May the Most High continue to bless and edify your life. Much love and respect to you, sir. Hey, much respect back to you. Thank you so much once again. TK is making a real strong run for official sponsors. So guys, for those of y'all that are just now getting on, today I'm showing you the best way to use your tax refund. Please make sure that you smash that like button and also make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell if this is your first time watching this channel. Now, going back to what I was saying before, your tax refund is not a one-size-fits-all formula. Some of you guys have no savings at all. Some of you guys have savings, but you're loaded in debt. Some of you guys actually have more savings than you need. And that's one thing that I want to tell you guys about also. When you study the habits of millionaires, millionaires don't hold on to a lot of cash. Your average millionaire puts their money into long-term assets and only has enough money in cash that's necessary to cover their bills. Okay. So if you look at myself for an example, I own over $1 million worth of real estate, but I would never put $1 million into my bank account because I need my money to work for me. What's my money going to do if it's all sitting in my bank account? It's going down the drain. The dollar is getting weaker by the day. Inflation is getting higher. I'm actually losing money by hoarding cash. If I'm going to build wealth, I need to put this money towards appreciating assets that will help me make more money over time rather than to lose it. Guys, y'all need to go back to some of the shows that I did before about inflation. Everybody that's taking all of this money and keeping it in their bank and savings account alone is taking an L. And the reason why they're taking an L is because if inflation is at 8%, do you know what's happening? That means whatever their money was worth last year, it doesn't have the same strength today. It's gotten weaker. But if you would have taken that exact same money and put it towards something like real estate, your money would have grown exponentially. Okay. Some of the best financial gains that I've made over the past year has come through real estate. And I didn't have to work for it. I just had to make the investment initially. And now I ride the wave. Not all money is the same. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I'm trying to show you the right way to build your financial house. You are never going to put yourself in the right position to invest in real estate properly if you have zero in savings and you have no money to bail yourself out of a jam. Because guess what happens? When you invest in real estate, things happen. Appliances break, emergencies happen all the time. So when you're investing, guess what you're going to need to pull on to keep your properties going? You're going to need to dip into your emergency fund. That's the reason why this is the very first step. When you build a house, you don't start with the windows. You lay the right foundation. Your foundation of your emergency savings is going to set you up for every other step along the way. But I'm warning y'all, if you don't take the time to set up this foundation now, try to invest and do other things, and it can crumble. It can go under. Because remember, guys, we talk a lot about investing in real estate, but a housing bubble is coming. We talk a lot about investing in stocks, but guess what? The stock market has crashed. When the markets crash, you still need some savings to help you out. So make sure that you have that $1,000 in savings, and then from there, move on towards paying off your debt. Okay. Now, here's the next big thing that I want you guys to focus on. Okay. Because some of you guys may have been doing well financially over the past year. If you do not have a life insurance policy to protect you and your family, now is the time. What do I mean when I say a life insurance policy? I'm not talking about the life insurance policy that your job hands out where they promise you $50,000. If you die tomorrow, your family cannot live off of $50,000 for the rest of the year. If you make $80,000 a year and you pass, how is your family going to be able to sustain themselves for the years to come? You always need to make sure that you have a life insurance policy that is 10 times the amount of your annual salary. 9-to-5 jobs are not giving that. They will give you the basics. You need to set up an independent life insurance policy outside of that. Because at the end of the day, if you lose your job or you decide to quit, you won't have that life insurance policy they promised you anyway. That's only good while you're with them. So, guys, make this the time. You're getting tax refund money right now. Make this the season where you finally set up a policy. Say, you know what? I know that this is something that I need. I need it. My spouse need it. I need to get it. I need to have coverage for my kids. This is the right time. Again, it's about building your financial house. And you know the reason why this insurance is so important, and I talk about this so much more in my program, 06 Figures. The reason why you having insurance is so important to building a financial house is because most people are one emergency away from having a major bankruptcy. For most people, they are one car accident, medical emergency, divorce, lawsuit, any kind of tragedy. Most people are one emergency away from bankruptcy. So if you are just relying on how much money you make, as soon as that tragedy happens, you're not going to have enough money to afford it. You're barely able to cover all of your expenses. So what you need to do in this situation is you need to have insurance. This is the reason why health insurance is important. This is the reason why auto insurance is important. You never know when an accident is going to come. But you know what's so crazy? There's 100% chance that a rainy day is coming. I don't say that to be a downer. I'm saying that to be real. And if you never go and take the time to set up insurance planning for that rainy day that you know is coming, you only got yourself to blame. So guys, if you don't have a life insurance policy as of yet, now is the time to get one, because tomorrow's not promised. There's so many people that are getting tax refunds this year. They're never going to get another tax refund again because this may be the last year of their life. If you could simply put starting money into a policy that can change your family forever. You don't need $500,000 to have a $500,000 life insurance policy. You could set that up for $100. So all I'm saying is, what if you took a small portion of your tax refund and you set yourself up to where you and your family can prosper for generations? If you guys don't have life insurance and you're looking into getting that set up, just reach out to me, okay? One of the things that some of y'all may know is that I am a licensed insurance agent, and I just got this. Why? So that when I do shows like this, I cannot just talk about it. I can be about it by signing you up. I was doing these shows long before I got my insurance license, guys. Me constantly telling you guys about this over and over is the reason why I decided to get it. So if you're looking to finally get insurance for you or a member of your family, send me a message via email in the comments below. I'm giving you my email address in the comments, and I'm going to show you guys how you can do it. I'm going to show you how you can protect your family for a low price. Now, let's get back to it. We've been talking about our financial house. If you're just now joining, make sure that you smash the like button. If you're getting a lot of value from what we're talking about in tonight's lesson, make sure that you donate. All you got to do is tap that dollar icon directly below. I've been telling you guys, you got to build the financial house. That means emergency savings. That means putting it all towards debt if you've already got your $1,000 savings accounted for. That means getting a life insurance policy for you and your family if you have yet to do so. The next thing that you need to be thinking about, if you already have those things taken care of, is putting it towards your emergency fund. This is where we're now getting back to building up your emergency plan, guys. Okay, listen. Think about how much craziness happened over the past few years. You need to make sure that you are emergency prepared at all costs. This is the reason why there's so many people now that are saving. But the problem is the way that most people are going to save is not fully going to bail them out of a real emergency. That's the reason why I'm telling you guys, hey, some of that money needs to go towards emergency savings if you don't have any. Some of that money needs to go towards paying down debt. Some of that money needs to go towards insurance. I'm giving you a foolproof plan to protect yourself because you never know where a problem can come. You might find yourself in a situation where you need to pull out $500 tomorrow. Well, good thing you put it in your emergency savings. You might find yourself in a situation where you cannot keep up with a debt payment, and now you're in danger of foreclosure. By you taking the tax refund and putting it towards these specific areas that I'm telling you is going to lower your overall risk. You don't know where the emergency can come from. Sometimes emergencies can come from places where we least expect it. And that's the reason why I'm trying to make sure that you have everything solid across the board. So that way, no matter where the emergency comes, you have put on your full armor. Now, let's talk about this. You've got $1,000 in savings. You've got your life insurance policy set up. You've paid off your debts. Once you've gotten yourself to this stage of building your financial house, this is when you need more emergency savings protection. Why? Because look at how many people lost their jobs when you know what happened back in 2020. You know, when when that happened, you know, the pandemic, remember that? When that happened, tons of people lost their jobs. Millions of people were crying broke. So you need to be prepared if something on that scale happens again this year. Guys, I told you before about food shortages. I told you guys before about these supply chain issues. Now is the time to get your house in order. You need to make sure that you have 3 to 6 months worth of emergency expenses. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to show you how this all comes together. Let's say you went through everything that I've talked about step by step. You have $1,000 in savings. You've put all of your money towards debt. You've got it paid off already. You've got a life insurance policy. Y'all want to know something so crazy? 99%, and I'm telling you this as a licensed insurance agent, so I know what I'm talking about. I do this. 99% of all life insurance policies is not going to issue out an immediate payout. Most life insurance companies are not going to give you money until you've provided a death certificate. Now, here's the thing. How many of you guys have ever buried a loved one before? Did you get the death certificate the same day? Sometimes it could take months before you get it, especially with all of the lockdowns that were happening. When I buried my father in 2019, it took me a long time to get that certificate. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because if you can't get the insurance money immediately to help put your loved one to rest, where's the money going to come from to give them a funeral? Why do you think so many people go to GoFundMe to bury their family members? It's because they don't have the money in their emergency savings. So when I'm telling you guys this information, it's not for the hell of it. I'm telling you this because back in 2019, after I had already gone through my hardships, my father passed away, and now I needed money to put my father to rest. And we've seen this so many times over. Look at what happened to the brother that was the comedian in Friday. He needed a GoFundMe for his funeral. If you guys are going to do right by your families, you need to start making the preparations today. Stop waiting until folks pass away to start trying to set things in order. By then, it is too late. cover your emergency savings, make sure that you have life insurance. And once these things are in place, have 3 to 6 months worth of savings. You will thank yourself for good. You will be so happy. You will have so much more peace of mind. Do y'all know how much peace of mind you're going to have when you wake up and you see in your checking account that you have tens of thousands of dollars in the account that's safe and sound? You don't need to use that money towards paying bills. You already have that through your regular income. That's don't touch money. You're going to be able to have so much more peace in your life. Trust me, because most marriages end in divorce because of personal finances. Most people are stressed the hell out because of personal finances. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Having money, it don't fix everything, but it's a hell of a lot better than not having no money at all. Some of the most stressful events I have been through in my life came on the strength of not having money. When I was homeless, I was stressed out because I didn't have any money. When my father passed away, one of the biggest stressors was, where am I going to get the money for the burial? These are all things that I want you guys to consider. We don't know what tomorrow is going to look like, but now is the time for you to prepare. Make sure that you're planning for tomorrow today, okay? So here's another thing. Let's say that you are an overachiever. You've done all of this, okay? And leave me a comment. Let me know where y'all are at, okay? Let me know y'all situation. If you guys have questions about what would be a great way to use your tax refund, leave me a comment and let me know, okay? One thing that I want to tell you guys also, and I know some of y'all might not want to hear this, if you've satisfied all of these other areas, because you should only do this after the other areas have been fully taken care of first, get started on your child's college fund. Now, I know, guys, college could be a ripoff. College is super expensive. College ain't teaching nobody how to really go out and get these jobs. I know what y'all are thinking, but I'm going to tell you, you never know if your child wants to go to college when they get to an older age. Some of you guys value college tremendously. And you know what you're going to do? If you don't have any college fund, you might be the same person 18 years from now talking about putting up the deed to your house just to pay for your child's tuition, only for them to walk away with a degree that does not even guarantee that they'll end up with a job. Do not put your finances on the line trying to cover your college tuition. Do not put everything up for sale just to take your kids to college. Now, why do I say this, guys? I have a child. Of course, I want him to have it all. And we're going to talk about that also, because this is where parents do wrong by their children. You got to make the right preparation to make sure that your child can have a great future, but you don't want to overdo it. Okay? I keep telling you guys about how I own over $1 million in real estate, but I don't plan to overdo it. I don't plan to have my child and say, oh, hey, son, you never have to worry a day in your life because daddy got you. You don't have to work. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to go through anything in this world because daddy then worked so hard. He got real estate. You don't have to worry about a thing. That's not what I'm going to say at all. His job is to work and build, just like me, because the way that you create generational wealth is you set up a foundation for future generations and then they add on to it. You look at a lot of these trust fund babies, they end up squandering all of the money, all because they're born into this rich family. They feel like they ain't got to hustle like their daddy did. And now all of the money is gone. So when I talk about setting up a college fund for your child, What I'm saying is that if you can see how expensive life is today, you should be able to project out into the future and know where college costs are going. I paid $100,000 worth of tuition back in 2010. So imagine how much it could be in 2040, in 2030, by you putting just $50 a month towards your child's college fund. It can grow in an investment that can help them cover a lot of those expenses. Again, they may go to college, they may not, but it's a hell of a lot better if you got the money there just in case than for them to end up going to college and now you're trying to figure out how to help them afford it at the last minute. Okay, you want to set up things for your family, but you don't want to spoil in so much excess that your children don't have to work for anything. Okay, I want them to have great opportunities, but they got to understand this grind, they got to understand this hustle. And when it comes to my situation specifically with my son, in order for him to maintain just where we are right now, he's going to have to work extremely hard, because it takes hard work to manage real estate, to manage business, to manage insurance, to manage all of these things. It takes grind, y'all. So let's put into our children's future. Leave me a comment. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Babalico asked, is another stimulus check going out to everyone? Yeah, good question, Babo. There's been talks about certain stimulus checks coming, but what they've done last year is they've only given out certain special checks in certain states only to certain people. They're not pushing out the stimulus on such a massive scale. You know, when we looked at the different stimulus checks that came before that everybody got, that was because America was printing trillions of dollars. Now it's gotten to a point where inflation is so high, the Federal Reserve is not going to encourage the government to reprint all this much money just so that way everybody could still walk away with a stimulus check. So I wouldn't expect it, but there have been different checks that have gone out to people specific to their states and their situations. A lot of people with children were getting additional stimulus money. So now back to the topic. What is the best way to use your tax refund? If you're just getting on, make sure that you smash that like button. Also, feel free to donate. You can do so even after the live broadcast is over. If you want to donate through Cash App or PayPal, the information is on the screen below. Also, you can click the links that are in the description. Okay. For those of you guys that are donating, please let me know if you're doing it through Cash App or PayPal, if you're making that donation live during the show, so that way I could check it out and give you a shout out. And as always, whoever makes the highest donation for the broadcast will be the official sponsor of tonight's event. Okay. So now let's talk about the area that everybody wants to talk about. You know, I done talked about all these other things and a lot of y'all don't care, but now we got to talk about the thing that's sexy: investing. See, the reason why I put this area last is because this is the thing that everybody talks about first, but the people who've actually made a killing through investing are the ones who did all the steps that I told you guys from before. They're the ones who have insurance set up. They're the ones who have enough cash to protect their families during a major crisis. That's the reason why when they invest, they win, because they already had enough assets prior to that, to where when they start investing, they invest with big numbers. And when you invest with big numbers, you can walk away with big money. See, when we invest, we got to think about how can we bring as much money to the table as possible. So if this is going to be your year of investing, I would recommend that you take your tax refund and put it towards a down payment fund for property. Y'all see how things are going for real estate. Some of you guys may want to wait until housing prices potentially go down. You know, if there's a housing crash, there may be certain opportunities available that are not available at this very moment. Y'all know the market has been so crazy. People have been putting 500,000 extra beyond the asking price, $100,000, $200,000, 300,000. It has gotten absolutely ridiculous. If you're going to use your tax refund to invest, open up a separate account for down payment through your real estate investing, or for my guys that are trying to get into the stock market, this would be a perfect time to start looking into index funds. So, for example, TK Kitchen a little earlier, shout out to TK for that $50 super chat again. TK said, I am utilizing my taxes for investing purposes like stocks and real estate. So, for example, on Vanguard, that's one of the major platforms that I use to invest. Vanguard will not allow you to get into some of their best funds unless you're putting up a minimum of $3,000. Now, lo and behold, it just so happens the average tax return is $3,100. So for some of you guys that are looking into investing, this might be the year where you say, hey, you know what? Uzziah told me before about all of the tax benefits that I will get by investing in my Roth IRA or 401k. So maybe what I will decide to do is I'll take that $3,000 and I'll put it towards my Roth IRA. When you put it towards that Roth IRA, it can then go into an index fund through a company that has high minimums. Guys, the reason why these companies have high minimums is because it is a rich person's game. You might not be able to get your foot in the door to every opportunity unless you're bringing money. And most people will not have this kind of lump sum type money outside of tax season. So if this is the season that you really want to invest, then this is something that you should consider, whether it be towards a down payment on a property, whether it be towards closing costs on a property, whether it be towards renovation costs on a property. Real estate costs money. You need money set aside to invest in real estate. And if you're not going to invest in real estate, then this might be a time for you to invest in the stock market. Now, you don't need $3,000 to invest in the stock market. Let's be clear. But what I am saying is the people who make a lot of money through investing are people that put up a lot of money up front. Why do you think Warren Buffett holds on to billions of dollars in reserves? It's not because he just wants to look at money in the bank. Remember what I told you guys before. When it comes to most millionaires, they don't keep money in the bank because they want their money to work for them. But Warren Buffett, who's a multi-billionaire, he will have billions of dollars set aside in his business accounts because he wants to wait for the right opportunities to invest and bring a lot of money to the table. If you guys are only investing by, just $5 here and $5 there, it's better than nothing, and you can still grow your money. But most people who build real wealth in the stock market and other investment avenues, they bring big money. That's how they make a lot of money. This is true in crypto, real estate, stocks, etc. When you look and study the habits of a lot of people who came up through cryptocurrency, it was either A, the extremely early adopters who saw it before everybody else did, and then their investments grew, or B, it was the people that said, I got $50,000 money to play with. Let me put it towards something. I'm going to put 50,000 and I'm going to make 100,000 from it. Floyd Mayweather right now investing in the real estate. He'll tell you guys, if he plans on making 100 million, he's going to put up 50 million up front in order to make the 100 mil, you got to put a lot of millions into it so you can get a return on your investment. Because at the end of the day, guys, it's all math. If you invest into something and you get a 10% return, somebody that invests $1 million into a fund that gives a 10% return, they're going to walk away with a lot more money than somebody that puts $1 in and they get the exact same return. It takes money to make money. And listen, y'all, if you haven't vacationed in years and your finances are stable, this could be a great investment. Now, just hear me on this. I know you guys are thinking, man, is he contradicting himself? No, I'm not. Hear what I'm saying. This is all about building your financial house. Some of you guys may be farther ahead in building your house than others. Some of you guys may have the problem that you're the person that I was talking about a little bit earlier, where you may make $100,000 a year, but you feel like your life is miserable. You may be a person who makes $100,000, but you have the potential to make $1 million. But the reason why you're not getting to that $1 million level is because you're already burnt out and lack energy. So what I'm saying is, if you can use your vacation as an investment strategy, then by all means do it. But the vacation is you investing in yourself. This is not talking to those of you who ain't done no work all year. You done already had your vacation. I'm talking about the people who have been focusing on building businesses, investing, making the right sacrifices year after year. If you've gone 5 to 10 years sacrificing and never giving yourself time to recharge, you not vacationing at this point could be the very thing that's holding you back from your next level of success. Because guys, one secret that I want to tell you guys about high performance people is that they understand when you start getting to new levels, you got to start taking your money to buy back your time and energy. When you don't have any money, you have to leverage your time and energy to get money. When you get money, you have to take the money to then regain energy and time. So what I'm saying is this. Let's say right now you make $10,000 per month. You follow me? If you make $10,000 per month and you cook all of your own meals, chances are you are probably sabotaging your income potential, because you could actually make more money in the exact same amount of time that it takes for you to make all of your own meals. If you hired somebody to make meals for you, even if it was on the side, the opportunity cost of you putting that exact same time and energy towards setting up another stream of income actually could cash flow somebody else cooking for you right there. This is how rich people think, okay? Guys, there's a reason why I don't mow my own lawn. I don't wash my own car. I don't do a lot of day-to-day errands. The reason why I don't do these things is because I want to dedicate as much of my time and energy towards creating the wealth that is necessary for me to live the lifestyle that I want for me and my family. If I had gotten myself locked up into all of these errands that most people do, I would have never been in a position to own over $1 million worth of real estate. I would have never put myself in a position to transition out of corporate America. See, the thing about wealthy people is they know how to use their time. And since time is one of life's most important assets, when you start from nothing, you're willing to put your time towards getting the money that you need for the lifestyle that you want. But then when you have the money to build the lifestyle, that's when you start using the money, so that way you don't have to do everything by yourself. This is the reason why wealthy people have teams, assistants. They have a support system that is willing to do work for them so they can focus on the most important activities that gets the money. Do y'all follow what I just said? Okay, Ariel said very good point. I think for a lot of you guys, if you didn't walk away with anything else that I said, that part right there could be a game changer for a lot of you. Some of you guys right now, maybe you haven't made a pay increase in the past 2 to 3 years, and this could very well be the reason. Is because you're grinding, sacrifice, and you haven't invested into yourself. You haven't invested into yourself by taking time off to recharge, and you haven't invested in yourself by growing your team. Because it gets to a point, guys, where you will work yourself into a ceiling and you can't go any higher than that. If you're going to elevate at any point beyond that, you got to start managing your time and money smarter. Okay. So now let's talk about this. If you're making the right moves, one of the things that you definitely want to do is give back. Okay. So, one of the biggest ways that you could use your tax refund is to give back to your church, give back to your favorite nonprofit that you've always been meaning to support. For some of y'all that don't know, I'm the head pastor of a church. And in my church, one of the things that we're doing is a tax refund challenge where people can pledge to take a portion of their tax refund proceeds and put it towards donating. You know, it's always better to give than to receive. And a lot of you guys are making money and you're still unhappy. And it's all because you're not fulfilled, because you're not doing anything for anybody else but yourself. I want you guys to be clear. A lot of you guys may tune into this Generational Wealth podcast because you think that if you fix your problems with money, then life will be great. Money is not going to solve every problem. What money can do, however, is it can help put you in the position to be able to have more happiness. There's a saying, money can't buy happiness. That is a myth. You must understand when people make certain statements, you don't know the quality of the person who made that statement. Okay. Money cannot fix every problem. Money will not always make your life perfect. But when people say that money can't buy happiness, they did not know how to use their money in the right places. If I could use money to get my mom a house, that would make me happy. If I could use money to get a loved one out of work, I would get a sense of fulfillment for that. So maybe there's a particular cause that when you get behind it, you would actually get happiness from it. And the reason why you're not happier is because you're not able to give like you want. You're not able to give to the people that you love. You're not able to support the causes that you care about. All of these crazy things are happening in the world, but you don't have the time, money, or the energy to actually get behind your own cause. Okay. I'm not telling you guys that buying a Ferrari will make you happy. I'm saying wealthy people buy experiences. They put money towards things that are fulfilling to them. The wealthy people who actually get happiness from money. And if you can use your money in the right place, you're going to see a lot of results. Let me tell you guys a secret. When we talk about happiness, there's a good chance that if you're not happy and feeling depressed right now at this very moment, one of these things is a contributing factor. Not making enough money, so you're always stressed. Not being in good health, so your body is yelling at you. Not being in a relationship that's healthy and giving you love and fulfillment. and having a spiritual void. I'm telling y'all, Patreon, y'all, we got to get this thing on Patreon. We got to start putting this content on Patreon, guys, because if you can master that part, you would be surprised by how much more satisfaction you will get out of life. I'm going to say this again, guys, and I need you guys to pay very close attention. If you are not getting the happiness that you want out of life, there's a good chance that it's because A, you're struggling financially, B, you're out of shape, C, your relationships are failing, or D, because you have a spiritual void. Your lack of happiness can often stem from the fact that something is missing in one of those places and you just can't put your finger on it. So let me give you guys a real life example. I find that most men like to provide. Most men like to be in a good place financially. When men don't make the money that they want, it can make them very frustrated or also insecure. So when you look at a lot of men specifically that go through depression, sometimes it's because of the fact that they're not where they want to be in life financially. Money cannot solve everything, but money makes the world go round. I didn't write the rules to life, guys. When you read in the Bible, it says money answers all things. Why are most divorces happening in America? Finances. Why are so many people stressed out? Finances. We are living in a capitalist society where inflation is up 8% in 1 year. If you want to tell me that you can live in this country now where expenses and prices are at an all-time high and money doesn't matter, you're kidding yourself. Money matters here in America. So if you don't have any of it, you're going to find yourself suffering. This could be a cause of stress for so many people. Or health. You know, I always notice that whenever I'm going to the gym regularly, I feel good because I'm working out, I'm having runner's high. But if I haven't worked out in a good few weeks, I feel slow. I feel like life is a drag. My emotions are weighing me down. All these things add up, guys, because it's a mind, body, and spirit connection. If you don't have any good relationships with people, if you're constantly failing one relationship after the next, you are going to suffer. Look at how many people, even women, guys, look at this. Y'all should be able to see it. Look at how many women right now talk about how they have a good job. They got a good house, drive their own car, but they feel absolutely miserable because they thought that they would be married by now and having a family. Look at how many videos are on social media about people not being fulfilled because they're not in a good place relationally. Life is about relationships. Okay, we were created to be an interdependent people. So again, think about these 4 areas when you think about your happiness. Do you have a money problem? Do you have a health problem? Do you have a relationship problem? Do you have a spiritual problem? And a lot of times we can have all of these problems at once. And that's a part of the reason why we will take on so much stress. But I promise you, work on these different areas step by step. And see how once you get on the other side of that problem, see if the same stresses and misery still finds you. For those who are bold enough to take that challenge, I want you to come back on my channel after you've done it. Leave me a comment. Say that you've watched this video and let me know how life works out for you once you've gotten to the other side. I'm looking forward to us having that conversation. Guys, before we close this out, I got to say one thing, and I'm going to open up this panel for y'all. I'm going to give y'all the link right now for any of y'all that want to chime in. Life is so expensive. You can't afford to throw your tax refund away. I'm sorry. I would love to be on here and get delusional and say, who cares? Blow the money. You can't take it with you. But life is expensive. There's going to be times in your life where you're going to want to do things that needs money. And you're going to think back to the times where when you had the money, did you make a right decision with it or did you throw it all away? Okay? I want you guys to look out for your best self. I want you to look out for your future self. That's the reason why you're going to take this tax refund and you're going to go over what was brought out in tonight's broadcast. You're going to think about where you are in building your financial house. And I want you guys to think about that without any discouragement, without any shame. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You have to run your own race, okay? I've been where you've been. I know what it's like to be $100,000 in debt. I know what it's like whenever you're starting with nothing. What I'm telling you is block out all the noise and ask yourself, what is the very next step? Is it me putting money into emergency savings? Is it me getting out of debt completely? You could take this tax refund and make a dent. Is it I need life insurance? I'm going to use some of the tax refund money to set up policies for me, my wife, and my children. What are you going to do with this tax refund money? Again, I'm going to say this. Over the past decade, every time I got a tax refund, I either put it towards getting out of debt, building my savings, investing in real estate, investing in business, or paying off credit cards. And the compound effect of me doing that year after year led to creating wealth. It led to me being put in a better position than I was last year. And when you guys do that this year, you're creating habits. This may be the very first year that you've made an extremely wise decision with your tax refund, and you're going to thank yourself for it. It might not feel sexy in the moment, but trust me, you're going to thank yourself for this in the future, guys. So please take tonight's broadcast seriously because this really could make or break your financial future. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with me. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's podcast. Did y'all enjoy it? Did you get a lot of value from it? Leave me a comment. Let me know. If you guys really appreciated this podcast and you love where this channel is going, please do me a favor, y'all. Smash that like button. As y'all can see, I'm back on air. Y'all know I had my son a little less than a month ago. Little Uzziah was born, and the baby had been keeping me up day and night. But I'm starting to get back into a regular routine, y'all. I'm starting to figure out life now after being a father for the very first time. So now I'm getting back on these shows and broadcasts. Thank y'all for bearing with me. If you want to see this show continue to be on air, please make sure that you donate. Your sponsorships go a very long way. All you got to do is tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box, and your donations and your support is greatly appreciated. Avia said, great show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay. Looking forward to talking to you soon, Avia. Looking forward to talking to you soon and maybe seeing you soon. Who knows? For everybody else that's on, please let me know what you're doing. How are you going to be using your tax refund money? Leave me a comment and give me some ideas. You know, this is a community, y'all. So when you leave comments, there may be people that watch this video a week from now that'll look in the comment section to see what are some of the best ways that they should use their refunds. You know, let's learn from each other. Let's continue to grow. Let's build. So that way we can create generational wealth. I'm out of here, y'all. Okay. But there's two things that I want to tell y'all first. One, if you're serious about getting your life insurance, or even if you just want to learn more, reach out. Okay. This is the time. Send me an email at uzziah@blackmanscareer.com, and I can show you guys how you can get started. Also, very next thing, for those of you guys that love watching this content and you want to soak up all of these free gems, make sure that you check out that free masterclass on the 3 keys to financial freedom. And also check out my free book, the How to Succeed Survival Guide. Okay. In this book, I showed you guys how I paid off all of my student loans after graduating from college. I showed you guys how I became a real estate investor and entrepreneur. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I'm going to put the link in the comments below. Okay. And then once you check that out, all you got to do is put in your name and your address. Tell me when to send it, and it's yours. Listen, man, I love y'all. I appreciate all the support. I want to give a big shout out to TK Kitchen for the $50 sponsorship. I'm trying to get back on this thing, y'all. All right. So let's keep working hard. Let's keep making the sacrifices, knowing that it's going to pay off, and we're going to be one step closer to creating generational wealth. Thank you all so much for enjoying the evening with me, and I'll see you all on the next broadcast. Until next time,